Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Sharon and today I'm going to talk to you about how I did the cover of this Steampunk journal, as a few people have been asking me how I did it. Before I start, I just want to say that I'm not being sponsored by any companies. I'm just showing you the products that I've used and that I have. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm just doing it for your information, basically. So here we go. So here we have the Steampunk journal completed now. I'm going to do another video about the inside, but this one is going to concentrate on how I did this cover. I'll just zoom in a little bit and let you see all the different elements. As you can see, it's very detailed and there's lots of texture and very grungy. And so I'll show you, or rather I'll talk through and let you know what I did and what I've used. So to start with, for the cover, I used recycled packaging such as this, and I used two of these for the back, one for the back, one for the front, and then I joined them together in the middle to make the spine. And that proved to be quite sturdy cover. So after I'd glued the two pieces together, I reinforced it down the middle with some more packaging and then some linen type material. And then what I did after that had dried, I painted it with some black gesso, and this is the gesso that I used. I painted it all over with the black, and then I let it dry. Now the spine is covered separately, and I did that. The outside of the spine is leather. I used some scrap leather, and I glued it on with some Fabri-Tac and also lashings of leather glue. And I also used some cords underneath the leather to give the ribbed effect. Now then, the cover was I scrunched up a load of tissue paper, and I used Mod Podge to glue the tissue onto the cover, back and front. I'll just show you the back. That's the back with the screwed up tissue, smoothed out a little bit, but and then left to dry. Now after it had dried, I went over the surface with this, and this is a cream wax, and it's called Vintage Gold, and it's by, I think by Prima Marketing, and this gave it a really nice old vintagey effect, I thought. So I rubbed the cream on. You could use a brush or use your fingers, and I did that all over, apart from inside, which I just left that painted black. Now this part is actually separate from the cover, and it's a canvas board, and first of all I painted that with black gesso and let it dry. I think you do need to use black if you want the textures to come out. So I've got everything painted black, and all the elements I painted those with black gesso as well, all separate. So once that had dried, I use a stencil. This is the stencil that I used with modelling paste. This is the modelling paste. You could use any type of modelling paste. It's just the one that I happen to have. And it gave a bit of texture to the background using this stencil. And let me just see if I can show you. I don't know if it's going to show up, but there you see there's a outline there of the stencil. And I let that dry. Now the next thing I did was I cut out using some chipboard like this, which is just from a box of tangerines, some stiff cardboard, and I cut out some rectangles. I think I used some that were a bit thicker as well, and the rectangles were placed on the canvas, and the idea is to raise and give it a bit of depth, to raise the rest of it, to raise the frames. Oh, and also I tied some cords around as well. I don't know if you can see those there. Two different sizes of cord, and I just wrapped it around the canvas to give it more interest. So we've got textured background, painted again with black gesso after it had been textured, and cord wrapped around, and then I stuck these rectangles of chipboard here and there in this middle area so that I could then attach these frames. I have two wooden frames here that I bought from the range, and I painted them, I gessoed them, and in between I used cogs and various things to add some interest. So there's just two frames there actually. If I just show you what else I did. I use this die by Tim Holtz, Sizzix Bigs die, for these elements. Cut all these elements out, and it's really good because it gives you these little bolt heads and washers that go underneath, and you cut them out of card. I cut them out on my Big Shot, and you get all these little propellers and elements which I then paint, gessoed them black. And also I had, what else did I have? I've got some notes written down here so I can remember. Oh, Cogs and Wheels from Snip Art. Can you see that one? And they're placed on here at various points, and they were painted black and waxed. I don't know if I waxed them before or after. I think you're better doing them before you glue them on, so that obviously you can get all the area covered before you put them behind the frame. So I've got all my little cogs, my wheels and my propellers and my bolts, and I glued them all on using my favourite Fabri-Tac glue. And then, what did I do? I found metal parts from my stash in my own junk drawer. Things like a bottle cap from a beer bottle, some screws and some metal wire that I twisted around a pencil. You can see that there. That was bought like that. It's a zip rosette, and I there were a packet of 6 from the local craft shop, so I stuck one of those on. And now this centerpiece here is actually made from wood. It's a wooden heart. It came plain white wood, and I gessoed it with a black gesso, and also then I put some of that scrunched up tissue paper and glued that on with Mod Podge. And then I got an old zip from my sewing basket and I glued it on to the heart. And then I used some of these textured mini art stones, they're called. I think that's from Prima Marketing. And you just basically sprinkle them on. You put a bit of glue on and sprinkle them on. They're like very coarse, sandy stuff, sort of stuff, white. Oh. Be careful because it ends up going everywhere. And then I stuck some of the cogs. I had some metal cogs, and these propellers are made from cardboard, and the bolts are cardboard. So then you've got everything stuck on, painted black. Then you need to colour it. So to colour it, what I did, I used this Prima Finnabair Rust Effect paste. You get 3 jars, and they're all different colours. And all you do is get a brush or use your fingers and mess about with the 3 colours until you get the effect that you'll want. I bought them on Amazon, and that's Prima Marketing, and they're absolutely brilliant for the rust effect. Oh, I thought so. And then just to give it a bit more of a shimmer, I went back over it with this vintage gold cream wax to highlight little parts of it. And that's it really, basically. That's about it. And then of course I did the inside, and after I'd finished the inside I glued this canvas onto the front of the book, so that's actually attached and solid on there. So that's how I did it. I hope that was alright for you and clear enough. So next time I'll do a video showing you the inside of the journal. But until then, I'll say goodbye and thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like or a comment, and if you're not already, please subscribe. Bye for now. Thank you.